What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Fossil Fighters Champions. Last time, we won our second round in the tournament and took out a monster in the jungle. Monsters being a subjective term in this circumstance. But this time, we are going to be heading to the second island to head to our new dig site. But before we actually do that, I want to head over to the Fossil Guild, because we heard that Stella was going to be sending somebody over to the jungle to clean up the monster's parts. So I want to just talk to the info clerk here. Welcome. What do you want to hear about? And we have several things we could hear about, but I specifically want to listen to the trash contractor. We got a weird request from the staff over in Jungle Labyrinth. Apparently someone blew up a fake monster and now parts are scattered all over the place. They need help cleaning up before somebody gets hurt. Alright, so that's what we're gonna do to start off today. But before we actually head over to the Jungle Labyrinth, I want to go to the shop because I want to upgrade. Well, first, I want to sell this jewel that I got from a jewel rock while I was doing the bio for Stego last episode. And as you can see, I have 10,000 gold because between episodes, I've been digging up the rest of the Vivisaurs from both of the dig sites. So I want to go over to my tools and I want to upgrade the sonar some more. Specifically, I want to fully upgrade the monitor because it's going to be very helpful for this side quest that we're going to be doing today. And because we have the extra money, I think I'm also going to get one of the fossil filters, just so we get fewer rocks overall, like normal rocks overall. But I think that's all I'm going to have to upgrade. I can also show that I did upgrade my case to 32. That's why it's saying 48 now, because that's the next upgrade. But we're going to get this last fossil, or we're going to get this first fossil filter, and then head over to see if we can find that staff member over in Jungle Labyrinth. All right, in Jungle Labyrinth, it's always nice to see the fully upgraded screen of the sonar. It's so much extra space that you can see for fossils. But we just need to run through the Jungle Labyrinth to the right side of the jungle. And I believe the staff member is right up here by the VMM. What a drag, man. This place is covered in trash thanks to those no-good cheating fighters. I don't want to clean this up, man. I'm tired. I need a nap. I want a hammock and some ice cream. Oh, hey. You want to help me clean up a big mound of stinky garbage? Stella's gonna freak out if I don't. Sure, man. Your name is literally Lazy Staff. Oh, man, thanks. This'll be a huge help. If someone blew up a robot deeper inside the jungle here and its parts went all over the place, I guess Stella thinks I'm lazy because she sent me to clean it up and told me to earn my keep. Well, I'm not lazy, and I'll prove it by having you find the parts and get rid of them. Ha! Anyway, the parts will be red on the sonar, so you can find them and dig them up for me, okay? If you need me, I'll be, busy. Over here. Alright, man. Well, these parts are all over the place. So I think the best place to start is actually by starting where the monster was originally. And look how much of a sweeping space we get with this sonar. It is so awesome. And I love getting the bigger sonar. But we'll start with this red dot, the monster's mouth. And there are 7 parts that we need to find. And there's this red dot here, which I believe this isn't actually a part of the monster, if I can actually get to the right spot. Yes, this is a odd well, which we might actually end up using in a second. But I want to grab this, which is the monster's face, and we have 5 more to go. And I don't think there's anything else here. I'm not actually digging up regular fossils because like I said at the beginning of this episode, I've already gotten all the regular all the Vivisaurs from these areas. So we're just gonna take this odd well and see that it brings us to the beginning of the dig site, which is very nice, which means if you want to go to the back of the dig site again, say you forgot to get Stego and you really wanted Stego for some reason, you could jump in this well and it'll take you right to the back of the dig site. But where are the red dots? There is a red dot. What are you? This is actually almost the exact spot that the Kalios Slablet was. But we got a bent bolt, 4 more to go. Is there any over here? Also, I want to point out that having this bigger sonar helps with the problem I brought up the first time we actually used the sonar, which is that when you're running around, it's very easy to miss fossil rocks, because when you're scanning, it only scans certain areas when it crosses over them. And if you're running around, those areas can very easily be skipped. But with the bigger sonar, it's a lot harder to actually skip those areas. And it makes it a lot easier to find all the fossil rocks that you're looking for while you are moving around quickly. But we have another red dot right here. What are you? We got a jammed gear. 2 more to go. Is there anything up here in this, like, odd corner? Oh, we got one right here. What are you? As I inch my way forward so I don't actually cross the intersection between the two sides, we got a stretched spring with 1 more to go. And I believe the last part is actually in the same part, or in the same section of the jungle as the lazy staff member. Let's see. Where could this monster part be? I think, is it like right next to this guy? It's almost directly next to this guy, which is very funny. He could have walked like 5-6 steps and found this eye by himself. But that's all the trash, and we immediately get teleported back to the staff member. Thanks, man. Now Stella won't be able to call me lazy again. I mean, now the dig site is safe once more. I guess I should give you something, huh? How about this? And we get a new fossil rock. Like I said last episode, whenever we get new fossil rocks, it's just a random fossil of basically almost any Vivisaur. And our other reward is the Elemental Series icon set. Man, I'm exhausted. I'll see you back at the station. Well, I'm actually not heading back to the station, but I should show. If we go to the VMM machine, we can just hit return to town. And it actually just sends us back to the heliport. So we could, again, just go straight to Cranial Isle, but I actually want to go back to the Fossil Guild because we got that elemental icon set, and I want to show how to look at them. So all we have to do is go over to the side with the info clerk and talk to this guy right here. Icon, huh? Hey there, my name's Ike, and I help fighters like you change their icons. An icon is a symbol that represents you. It's an important part of a fighter's overall look. So, can I change your icon or what? And we can see that we have all 8 of the original icons that we could pick at the beginning of the game. But if we go over, we can actually see the 5 new icons that we just got. And I love the neutral one because, as you can see from the 4 normal types, are from fire, water, earth, and air, that the symbol for the icon are the same as the cylinder. So when the cylinder is just this color, you just can't see the icon for the neutral. And I love that it's just a blank cylinder for this one. It's very funny to me. But that's pretty much all I wanted to show here. I think we're just going to stick with Tricera because I love Tricera. And we are just going to be heading on to the new island. So we just need to go over here and talk to the receptionist or the attendant. The 3 islands of Calisteo Fossil Park are connected by helicopter. Right now, however, we only offer flights to and from Cranial Isle. Would you like to take a helicopter to Cranial Isle? Yes, we would. And we just need to move up to Cranial City and select it. So I have a question, because throughout this game, we'll travel through all 3 islands and pretty much see all of them. We never see where these helicopters are kept. And it confused me for such a long time. Like, do they just keep them, like, offshore? And they're like, yep, this is the helicopter landing spot where we just keep helicopters and nobody will ever see them. It's just very confusing to me, because it's just like, yeah, we just don't know where the helicopters are. Welcome to Cranial Isle, the land where heat and passion swirl. Hey, I'm Terry, the staff leader here on Cranial Isle. It's nice to meet you. You must be Phoenix. Yes, Stella has told me a lot about you. Word on the street is that you took down some cheats who were scaring fighters with a fake monster. Man, you are some kind of fighter. Everyone's talking about your last match, you know. All right, I almost forgot. I've got some good news for you. The VMM's been upgraded with a new metal bank, so you can store dino metals. We added buttons for switching between your holder and bank on the VMM Team Edit screen. If the holder screen is open, just touch the bank button to switch to the bank screen. And if you want to switch back, just touch the holder button. To store a dino metal in the bank, select it and hold on the holder screen and touch bank. And it removes the dino metal, select it on the bank screen and select holder. Dino metals in the bank can be teamed up and renamed just like those in the holders. Neat, huh? No, you don't understand how the bank could possibly be useful? Yeah, that's okay. It's a lot to wrap your head around. Let me try to explain. With the holder, see, each dino metal is one of a kind. That means every Vivasaur is too. But if you put a dino metal in the bank, it's like you don't own it when it comes to reviving. So, if you find a head fossil, you can make a new Vivasaur instead of integrating it. By making copies of the same dino metal you like that, you can make an entire team of one kind of Vivasaur. Now it sounds neat, huh? Alright, there are a couple of things you should be careful about. First, the bank can't hold more than 100 dino metals. If your bank gets full, you'll have to donate some dino metals you don't need. It's pretty easy. Just select the dino metals you want to eliminate and touch donate. You can donate dino metals from the bank screen in the same way. And secondly, clean fossils can only be integrated with dino metals in the holder. So if some of your dino metals need parts, make sure to move them into the holder before you clean. Well, hey, if you don't know, there's a fighter station on this island as well. You can clean fossils there, and it's also where some Calisteo Cup matches are held. I think Clean came with you on the helicopter, so that should be all taken care of. What else? All right, Fossil Guild. We have one of those with a shop, Mastellon, and info clerk. And if you buy a fossil chip at the shop, you'll be able to dig up new fossil rocks. Okay, that's really it. I look forward to seeing what you can do on our little island. See you around. So, before we get to him, I want to talk about the bank a little bit, because I understand the usefulness of it. If you want to use, say, 2 Triceras or 2 of a certain Vivasaur on your team just to get the benefits of it twice, you can use the bank for that. But I don't really understand the whole donation thing, especially if you're not donating from the bank, because the whole way it tracks completion of this game is how many Vivasaurs you have revived, and if you have revived all of them. So donating the Vivasaurs just never made sense to me. But getting back to this guy, this Shinar CS sonar is a right finicky device. It has to be practically on top of the slablet to get a reading. I'd have to explore dig sites in a slow, painstaking fashion, and I'm far too old for such tomfoolery. Also, I'm too fat to walk around for hours at a time. Perhaps it's time to lay off the pudding. Whoa, what? Eh? Oh, good heavens. If it isn't Phoenix! Brilliant! I was hoping you'd make it to Cranial Isle someday. Well, how does Cranial Isle find you? Does it unfamiliar layout confuse and befuddle you? It is almost laid out in the exact same way as Rupular Island, Professor. So, no, it's not confuse and befuddle me. Yes, well, not to worry. I shall simply squire you around town as one scientific mind to another. As you may know, Cranial City has its very own fossil guild. If you neglect to purchase an item in Rubular Town, you can simply buy it here. What ho! Our town center contains the fighter station. Incidentally, the large building above the station is Wild West Tower, home of our man Joe Wild West. Imagine building a tower above a station. This man must be mad for fossil fighting. What? Why do you keep saying what? What does what mean? And here is the crown jewel of our island, if I do say so myself, the Callisteum Museum. It would be a shame to leave without a tour of the museum, eh? Shall we close and all? Since you're close and all. Come, please. I would be delighted to have you as my special guest. This is Callisteum Museum, a gallery of rare and wonderful discoveries made on Callisteum Island. Yes, quite. Do your eyes spy my newest prize? It's the Callios slablet we obtained together. I've also added a proper translation to the exhibit so all can bask in its glory and wonder. Hold now, you should not leave without viewing the first tablet I acquired. Yes, of course, White. The kingdom of Callisteum was ruled by Zanga Zanga. He was a sorcerer of overwhelming power and might. Such was his sorcery that when he issued a command, the people had no choice but to obey. He even used strange magic to resurrect ancient beasts from fossils. I like how one of them just looks like either Thalastio or Nycto on the flying one. It's just a neat add-in to put actual Vivasors you can find on these things. But he even used... Oh, we just... we just read that. Quite nice, yes. Of course. I'd give a Gipper dinner. The fuck does that mean? If I could somehow find a full set of slablets, they would give us an invaluable look at the full history of these islands, you see. I say, just the thought of it is enough to make my heart go pity-pat. Yes, well, the Callisteum Museum is always open. Science never sleeps. What? If you wish to know the history of these islands, feel free to pop in for a spot of tea and a lecture. Now then, Phoenix, I assume you'll soon be off for excavating and the like, yes? If so, you can access Mount Krakenak from the town center stairway. Good luck to you, my young fighter. Tally ho! Alright. I like how Professor Scully is like, yes, our crown jewel, the museum, a place that you really never have to come back to. And we don't really talk about it much later. So I think there's like one more key point where we have to come back to the museum. But I just like how he's like, yes, the place that you should definitely go, the museum. But we can either head down now into Mount Krakenak, or we can head into the fighter station because there's actually some stuff for us to do in there. So I think before we head to Mount Krakenak, I want to do the fighter station stuff first. I say. Oh, you are Phoenix, yes? I've been hearing ever so much about your exploits. Yet exploits are but winds from the mouths of babes in this cruel world. Oh, beg pardon. I am Jed Tudor, middle brother of the Tudor family. You can tell me from my brothers by my beard, trimmed to match the stylish fashion of the day. Yes, well, let us get down to it, as they say. If you defeat me in a battle, I shall impart upon you a vital digging skill. Well, what do you say? I say we'll take you on, Jed. Right, then have at you. All right, start off our battle with Jed. He is actually faster than us, which is kind of upsetting. But also, to no one's surprise, I am bringing the exact same team I brought to basically every fight we've done so far. With Goyle, Harpy, and Zephyr. But he has a full team of fire-type Venusaurs, which means Harpy is going to go wild here. So I think what I want to do first is do my running smash into Gorgo. And does that... We got a crit, which is nice, but it unfortunately did not take him out. I was really hoping to take him out in one hit because he is going to hurt me right now. Why didn't he just do that last turn? Also, he's recharging 110 FP at a time, which is also terrifying, which means he is, I believe, 2 levels above us in fighter level because we're recharging 90 at a time right now. So he's definitely doing a lot more than we are, at least right now. What I want to do, I think we're gonna Wind Blast the Dimorph and see how much this does. It's 61, which takes it out. That's great. And then I'm going to Running Smash into Gorgo again. And this should take out the Gorgo. So all we have to deal with is Sai-chan. That is perfect. And he is at the max FP, so we don't really have to worry about that anymore. And I'm trying to decide if I want to... I think I have an idea what I want to do this next turn. Because Sai-chan is just in a bad spot for arrows to actually hit it. So I'm going to rotate Tricera into the front, giving it the 20% boost to attack. And then we are going to attack with the best range and the type advantage and a critical hit. Just, the Sai-chan really didn't have a chance there. And again, with the Tudor brothers, we don't get any points for this. It seems word of your exploits has not been exaggerated, and thus I shall teach the promised skill. Know you of dark fossil rocks? They contain things like such as rare fossils and jewels and the like. To find them takes a certain trick, and that is me speaking word bubbles at you and then striking you down with lightning. Now you know my final secret. The dark fossil rocks are yours for the taking. However, I must warn you, dark fossil rocks can be quite the devil to clean, but the reward inside makes it quite worth the effort. And we gain the ability to dig up dark fossil rocks. I have brothers on Rubular Island and Ilium Island. They too will teach you essential technique. Were I you, I would make for them straight away, cheerio. Well, we've already talked to Ned over on Rubular Island, and we physically can't go to Ilium, so this is as far as we can go with the Tudor brothers for now, so I think we are just going to head on to Mount Krakenak now that we have everything taken care of on Cranial City that I wanted to take care of. All right, welcome to Mount Krakenak. And as you probably have noticed, we were not immediately interrupted like the first two dig sites. So I think we should take this time to go over the new Vivosaurs we can find here. So first up is Trima. And I just need to say, I am so happy that they put Trima earlier into this game, because in the first game, it was relegated into the post game and you had to buy it, which is absurd. It made it basically useless in that game. But in this game, it is an amazing backup Vivosaur. And by that, I mean it literally just has the Link skill. But it also has great support effects, basically raising every single stat of your attack zone Vivosaur by at least some. And it also gets a great Golden Enrage skill, which when a Vivosaur is inflicted with Enrage, it lowers their accuracy. And with the Golden Enrage skill, it lowers it by so much that basically in this early of the game, any Vivosaur that is inflicted with it is not hitting anything, which basically takes them out of the fight for at least a round or two, which is very good for a supportive Vivosaur to do. Trima also gets the Inflame skill, which allows it to increase another Vivosaur's attack stat, which is great when it's not doing much damage at all by itself. But there are two big downsides to Trima. First, the stats. They're not great, and it's built like a paper bag, so if it gets hit by anything of decent power, it's getting folded, and it's not like even close. And the bad thing about it is that it has parting flow as well, which is usually a good thing, but the reason it's a bad thing is that it increases its attack and accuracy by 150%, and then it multiplies its defense and speed by 75%, meaning it literally gets less defensive when it is under 10% of its health, making it even easier to take out, which is not great for a supportive type Vivosaur. But even with those two downsides, I still think Trima is a great Vivosaur, and if you haven't tried it before, I highly recommend it. But moving on, next up is Sungari, which, look at those support effects. Minus 40 to every stat of your opponent is insane at any state of the game. But even early game, when it's not 40%, it's usually like 20% or something like that, which is still crazy because that's Tintao's entire support effect at rank 20. So minus 20 is nothing to scoff at. But Sungari also gets amazing support skills. Basically every single skill it gets, it has a effect on. From its Enrage effect, which, like I just talked about, is great. Its Rotate effect, which just disorientates the opponent and makes them have to waste more FP. Or it's literally becoming a nuke effect. And by that, I mean it can sacrifice all of its LP in order to cause massive damage to a Vivosaur, i.e. become a nuke. There are, again, two big downsides. Its stats are pretty lackluster, and it has the same parting flow that Trima has. So under 10% of its life points, it gets weaker in the defensive department. But if you're using it just to become a nuke anyway, I don't think you're really worrying about its defenses. But moving on to Brachio, which is our second neutral type Vivasaur in the entire game. And this one's actually pretty good. Being a long-range Vivasaur, it has the typical long-range Vivasaur stats of high LP and decent attack, but it also comes with a 100% rotate skill, which is great for disorientating your opponents and making them waste FP, like I just talked about on Sungari. And it's its first skill, meaning that as soon as you get Bronchio, you get the 100% or 100% rotate skill. Other than that, it also gets a power scale skill, which allows you to equalize FP between you and your opponent, which, if you're using it correctly, should just give you more FP while basically suffocating your opponent from their FP, which is a very good thing to do. But the last new Vivasaur that we have access to here is Anato, or by its looks, that's a Psyduck. Anato is a good attack type Vivasaur with some pretty decent support skills. Its attack type attributes is that it has 65 attack stat with a 40% crit rate, which basically means that it has somewhere in the range of a mid to high 70% attack stat, just because of how often it's going to be critting. It also has semi-cheap skills, basically meaning you will always be able to use one of its skills basically every turn. And its support attributes are that it has the support skill, or not the support skill, the sacrifice skill, which allows it to give its LP in order to heal your other Vivasaurs. And it has a 100% confuse skill, really leaning into its look of a Psyduck, which confuse is one of the best effects to give a opponent, because it makes them not do what their trainer wants them to do or their fighter wants them to do, which is very good for you. Basically the only bad thing that Anato has going for it is that it has bad support effects, but realistically, if you're using it, you're not really worried about the support effects, and you would want to use it in the Jurassic formation mostly in order to get it up front so you don't have to worry about those support effects. All right, and now that that is all over, we just want to head up here because look who it is. Always our main man stopping us. Hey, Phoenix, you here to dig? This place is really awesome. There's tons of fossil rocks I've never seen before. Go ahead, throw your pickaxe down anywhere and see what you find. I knew you were here by the way the air suddenly filled with high-pitched squeals of delight. Rupert, are you looking for fossil rocks for round 3? Please, don't sully me with such accusations. My Vivasaurs are already skilled enough to win round 3 with little trouble. No, I simply came here to run some field tests on a new product. This is DISSR, or Digger, an automated excavation tool recently developed by Fossil Dig Inc. Good day, sir or madam. I am Digger. This robot contains built-in sonar and has the ability to locate and excavate fossil rocks automatically, meaning I literally have to do nothing to dig fossil rocks. It is an important product of our company, which is why my father asked me to perform the field test. The sales potential of Digger is almost limitless when fighters see what it can do. Digger will be really welcome, sir, or go, madam. I am. Please insert token. Your call is important to us. I am Air. It would have been really funny if they put into all your base belong to us reference into this, but oh, what now? 404, page not found, bad command or file name, abort, retry, fail. Rupert just got bitch slapped by a robot that he and his father created. No, 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 no. That idiot robot just ran off with my dino medal. And it's programmed with an automated fossil battle system. I must stop it. Don't try to move. You took a real pounding there. Todd, please say that in any other way. Just say he was slapped. Don't you see? If Digger starts randomly battling strangers with my Vivisaurs, there will be chaos. The reputation of my father's company will be stained forever. I must. Gah. I'll stay here and make sure Rupert doesn't hurt himself, Phoenix. But you have to chase down that robot. All right, Todd, but I think we have been going for a little while now, and I think we're going to end this episode here. So, I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we go fight the killer robot. But until then, happy adventuring.